I bees here. Man, I've been rushing around. Something about me is a terrible procrastinator. I've been knowing I was going to do this show for a long time. I had my research done. I read books. I read this book called Half the Sky. I did all the stuff, right? Do you think I like put something together? No, I didn't do that until today. Why did I wait till the last minute? I don't know. It's just a bad habit I have. I had that since college. I would wait until the day before to do something. And it's like, hello, everybody. Hello, all my wonderful moderators. And oh, that's what we are now. We the debutantes. Oh, this is too funny. Um, yeah, I'm kind of, sitting here. I got to kind of catch my breath and get my mind right. Um, but I'm glad to see so many people here for this show. This is going to be a highly controversial broadcast. Some of the things mentioned um, may be triggering to some people. It's not like we're going to really delve into it that deep, but some women did share some experiences that they had. And, it's not all peaches and cream. I just want to share that. So, handle it if you can. If you got to click off today, I totally understand it. I'm not, going to blame you or anything. It's a tough topic. It's a tough topic on many fronts, one of which is, in just really when you look at the socialization of women, especially in the African American community, men are lifted up to be like something miraculous and wonderful. I mean, we've talked about how women treat their sons in relation to their daughters. That's why there's so many dusty bums running around. The mothers have spoiled them rotten. And whereas the daughters, were raised to be responsible and accountable people, the sons were coddled and spoiled, and so they grew up to be useless pieces of shit. So we're dealing with, that mentality in a lot of women. Like, how can you say that, women should or feel justified in hating men? That's just wrong. God don't like ugly, and you then here come the men. Oh, you just a, bad man basher. You hate men. You feminist, you're an awful person, you this and that. Well, I might be all those things. I'm not gonna say that I'm not, but I think and see, I did prepare my notes. I'm supposed to be, you know, excuse me, referring to them. So I guess I will. Okay. So it says here that I was in my speechy mode. Men in general are quick to negate women's belief that men hate them, pointing to themselves as an example. What do you mean, Deborah? I love women. I'm not like that. It's not all men. And that may be true for some people, but we're not talking about, picking out individuals on a one by one basis. We're talking about a widespread, systemic, intergenerational type of behavior of male species, human species all over the world. So we're not just talking about you. You're not going to be able to excuse yourself from this video though, because I'm going to show you how, even though you may think of yourself as this good guy who's not, doesn't intentionally abuse women and all this kind of stuff, there is like, I haven't met not one man yet who hasn't done or said something, usually multiple things, multiple times, that were designed to hurt, use, malign, discount, or in some other way take advantage of a woman or a girl. I haven't met one yet. Even my own brothers. I mean, they're wonderful people now, but in their teens and early 20s and stuff, they was, shit too. So I'm not gonna excuse them. And I already told you about my daddy. He was a piece of work. He mellowed out and stuff by the time I came along. But my aunts and uncles and stuff used to talk about all the crazy shit his ass used to do. So I mean, when you look at all the stories that women have to share about the men in their lives and the men in their families, the men that they work with, the men that they went to school with, the men that they came in encounter with on the bus, on the train, on the plane, walking up and down the street. It's in general, men have this negative attitude towards women. There is a basically there's a war on women. There's a war on women. I mean, a lot of women don't want to believe it. They don't want to hear it. You're wrong. You this and that. I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to prove it to you today. Yeah, I haven't met one. You know, I haven't met one. I mean, and like even the man I married, he was in his younger days, he was a piece of shit too, and he readily admitted it. About the women that he used to use for sex and all the games and lies he used to play and tell and stuff. He was ashamed later, but that doesn't discount the 20 something years that you did those things. You were a piece of shit too. So, I mean, who is this magical man that's never done or said anything that he shouldn't have done or said? We haven't met that man. He hasn't been born yet. And they might try to get out of it, but like I said, and there's just this misogyny that's expressed towards women. With look at how many women are murdered every year by men who claim to love them, boyfriends and husbands, fathers, brothers. Okay, the women are dead. So, the women get beat, their children get abused and murdered. The children, female children, get abused as children, they get abused as adults. There's harsh words, there's repeated violations of our boundaries. Like that's everywhere you go. They violating your boundaries and your personal space. There's enslavement of women for their personal pleasure or entertainment. I told you about the guys that have the websites that are out doing promotion books and workshops and stuff to teach men emotional enslavement of women. Okay, are we like a sociopath or what's some kind of weirdo freak psychopath? I mean, that is weird, not crazy behavior. That's not normal. Um, Men have a goal of denying women their rights and freedoms. They refuse to listen to women. They have an entitled demand for control over women's bodies, women's time, women's energy, women's thoughts, women's money, everything. They use the laws and they use religion and they use marriage to shore up their control of women, and then they use threats of violence or actual violence to terrorize women. So when you think about all the men that don't you know that some of them have used at least one of them tactics? Probably on you. Yeah, D, I'm kind of with you. I don't know, really it's like, but they do have I'm gonna be, sharing my thoughts on it. They do have antisocial personality disorder. According to the DSM-5, when you listen to what I have to say, and it's really not that much in volume that I have in words, but it'll probably take me at least an hour to say it. So the guys that do this kind of stuff have male privilege, so that gives them the space. So these guys will say, well, that's not me. Well, I don't see it. Well, that's never happened to my female friends. This is the kind of stuff they come at you with to try to discount and basically just downplay your concerns or what the complaints that you have about men. They want to, pull out those wild examples and say, well, no woman's ever told me that happened to her. My sisters. Okay, but ask them. I mean, go after you hear this show, go and ask them, have any of these things ever happened to you? And you never told me. And watch what she says. Because it's not the kind of thing you just gonna sit down with, your brother or your cousin, male cousin or something, and say, yeah, let me tell you about all these ways men violate my boundaries and say this foul, funky shit to me. This is my daily life. Just trying to go to the bus stop and go to work. I have to deal with at least 10 knuckleheads every day, every single day. It's a miracle more women don't suffer from PTSD just from men, because they're just something's wrong with them. So when guys try to downplay this stuff and discount right women's pain and emotional trauma and the behaviors of other men, what they're essentially doing is giving themselves an out. Because by saying, well, it doesn't really happen that much, you're exaggerating. It doesn't happen to any of the women that I know. He can basically put his head up his ass and act like it doesn't happen. And so then he's not going to be called upon to do anything about it. You see how that works? If it's not real, then it's not happening, and then you don't have to do anything. That's their steps for handling it. As usual, being lazy bums, not trying to be accountable for nothing. Now, to women though, this is why Margaret Atwood's quote, which is often quoted by comedians and everybody else, and she says, men worry about women laughing at them, and women worry about men killing them. And that is the difference. And, for us, it's like the number of men killed by women is like so little, it's a joke. The number of women killed by men every year is in the thousands. And those are the ones that just where they find the bodies. Okay. There's another, quarter million, half a million women who disappeared. Nobody knows where they are or what their status is. So you put all that together, and that's just in the United States. So when you do that, you're looking at over a million women a year just disappearing, or either gone up in puff of smoke, or they in somebody's graveyard. And who did that to them? Men. So you guys, and you don't believe me, go and look. I mean, you could do the same research I did. It's just right there. You don't have to look very hard. You go on Department of Justice websites, you go on the lost and missing websites, you put it all together, and the numbers are shocking. They're very, very appalling and very disturbing. So, anyway, what I want to talk, let me get to the page I want to talk about. All right. When we're around men, we have to watch ourselves a lot because women have been socialized to be fearful of men, usually with good reason, right? So you watch how you say stuff to them, you watch your tone of voice. A lot of women walk around with this fake smile plastered on their face because they're trying to look pleasant and conciliatory and non threatening to the men that they might come across. And one woman I was reading, she says that she developed this smile that for being when she's out on the street, and she calls it her "don't kill me smile, don't hurt me smile," that she gives to men because she's that intimidated. And that just was like, wow. I mean, to the point, you know what I mean? She identifies that that's what it is and that she worked on it to develop it. I thought that was the saddest shit I'd ever read in my life. So, yeah, like I said, the DSM, the way they describe males' behavior is right in there under antisocial personality disorder. And the oppression of women is just another example of that, um, because of the brutality and the degradation that's waged on women. And we're talking worldwide. I'm going to focus a lot on, what goes on here in the United States, but I cannot ignore the stuff that's going on in the rest of the world. The acid burning and the, what they call it, honor killings, and, women being kept in houses and can't go out the house for because unless they with a man, otherwise they get like abducted and raped and all this kind of stuff. The abductions of young girls in the United States is ridiculous. It's especially young black girls. So you have a teenage daughter, you better not let her out of your sight. Even up into their early 20s is still high at risk. But girls between the ages of 12 and 16 are disappearing off the street like it's like every day, several a day, in different places across the country, and they're never seen or heard from again. And they're black, and they don't get the news. They don't get put in the news. A little passing thing maybe on Facebook, but as far as like a widespread, all out search for them, no such thing. So if that happens to your daughter, I don't know. It's just not there. So you got to keep a close eye on your girls. That's essentially what's going on. But um, I think that, I interviewed several thousand women over the course of, many years on doing what I'm doing with my different surveys and stuff and talking to women, asking questions on Facebook and Twitter and my websites, my websites and blogs and stuff. And then here, of course, here on YouTube. And, you get to get a good feel for the kind of stuff that women are going through. And it's pretty horrific. I'll share some stories with you from the latest survey I did. I gave women free reign to share what's happened to them, and I actually put some of them on slides. I didn't have enough time because, like I said earlier, I was last minute today, so I'll show you what I got. But the bottom line is just what I say all the time, that men's whole focus is on controlling women. Every single thing they do, everything they want, everything they ask of you, everything they try to block you from doing with their laws, with their religion, with their marriages, with their, desires and thoughts, and with yellings and violence. All of those things put together are designed to control women. I don't know what the fuck. Why can't y'all control yourselves? Why don't you control some business ventures? Why don't you control some education and caring for your children? Why don't you build some shit in the communities where people are poor and don't have resources, and you got some over in your area? Why don't you share some over there instead of using it to try to control and berate and hurt women? It's just fucking amazing to me, the energy that men of all races exert in this kind of stuff. And I'm gonna show these white men up in the government with all this focus on abortion and stuff are really the most crazy. But with them, I got their shit figured out. I got their game figured out. They are pedophiles. Yes, I said it. They're pedophiles, and they're worried that since so many women aren't having kids, women aren't don't want to have kids, then they have to figure out some kind of way to get women to have the babies. Because what you guys don't understand, I love you to understand, if you unless you studied pedophilia, they have a target age. Okay, so a child that's younger than that or older than that, it doesn't excite them. They need this age group. So say the kid is, I don't know, 5 to 7. Well, once it turns 8 and starts getting bigger, taller, whatever, they lose interest. So they need a constant supply of 5 to 7 years old, or 9 to 10 years old. Whatever is that man's focus, whatever his excitement level, he needs a constant stream of new victims. Otherwise, he just, he's not going to survive in his little fetish. So, in order to make that happen, they have to keep people having kids that they can't take care of, kids that don't have any protector. So they put the kids in foster care and group homes. The kids don't have anybody really watching them, anybody caring about them, and so they're easy prey. That's what's going on. Why do you think they had all them kids? Then they took all them kids from their quote illegal, illegal alien parents, and separated the parents from the kids and kicked the parents out and kept the kids here. Did you really not understand what you were seeing? That and shipped them kids all over the country, and then now the kids disappeared. They can't. Oh, we don't know where your kids are. Don't you think that was intentional? I know it was. With all the computer networks we have and shit, they can find anybody anywhere if they want to on the other side of the world. They track your ass down like you just a mosquito. But suddenly they lose people's kids. Please don't think that's an accident. So I know the game. That's what that's all about. All right. So, with you, this oppression of women, women treated in such a way, I think that women hate that shit, and women have every right to hate men for the way that men treat them. Because men only care about themselves, and women's hate for men is not really like overt like men's, where they're out looking for victims. Women's hate for men is more of a defense mechanism. It's like if women don't have some kind of animosity towards you and put some protective shields up, it'd be all wiped out. Because y'all either wiped out mentally, wiped out emotionally, or wiped out physically off the face of this earth. Because men are fucking crazy. All right, so now I've divided this down, because I was looking at all the stuff. I got all this research and all the stuff I was reading online and everything. And I've divided men's behavior towards women into three categories, three distinct, uh, I don't know, what could I call it? Well, I don't know, three groups. That's what I'm just going to call it that. Um, So everything that they do is about controlling and dominating, mentally, physically, sexually, intellectually, and emotionally, and it's done in these three ways. Um, but first, let's talk about this because I mentioned. Let's talk about what the antisocial personality disorder actually is. Okay, then I'll go into my three groups and show you how the antisocial personality disorder manifests in its expression on this war on women. Okay, let's do that. Let's do that first. All right, where did I get this from? Oh, this came from Psychology Today. They describe antisocial personality disorder as an ingrained pattern of behavior in which individuals consistently disregard and violate the rights of others around them. Okay? Consistently disregard and violate the rights of others around them. We will go into that some more because to me this also applies to this trans shit. All right, so now, point A, according to Psychology Today, antisocial personality disorder describes this ingrained pattern of behavior in which an individual consistently disregards and violates the rights of others. B, the symptoms of antisocial personality disorder can vary in severity. The more egregious or dangerous are referred to as sociopaths or psychopathic behaviors. Okay. They say a sociopath is chiefly characterized as something severely wrong with one's conscience. Psychopathy is characterized as a complete lack of conscience regarding others. Some professionals describe people with this constellation of symptoms as stone cold to the rights of others. Consequences of this disorder can include imprisonment, drug abuse, and alcoholism. People with this illness may seem charming, but they're likely to be very irritable and aggressive as well as irresponsible. Does that not describe most of the men that we all know? Due to their manipulative tendencies, it's difficult to tell whether they are lying or telling the truth. That's why they be getting so many women caught up in their bullshit. Because, a lot of women don't have uh, especially the young ones, they don't have the life experience to be able to draw on to make a comparative analysis of what is said versus what is done and figure out that this is a lie. They don't have that kind of experience yet, which is why a lot of these guys avoid older women and only go for the young ones because they know that they're easier to manipulate and, to prey on than a woman who, knows some shit. So, and it says the diagnosis of antisocial personality is not given under the age of 18 but is more common in males than in females. The highest prevalence of antisocial personality disorder is among men who abuse alcohol or drugs or who are in prisons or in other forensic settings. So then they give you a few symptoms, right? So these are the symptoms that they say in the DSM. So these are just overall, like an umbrella. Whereas I'm going to give you a specific examples that women have shared of how these things are demonstrated towards women in relationships in the workplace, also on the street, wherever, in educational institutions and all that. Okay, so according to Psychology Today and the DSM, these are symptoms of antisocial personality disorder: violation of the physical and emotional rights of others. Ding. Lack of stability in job or home life, it says. Irritability and aggression. A lack of remorse. Consistent irresponsibility. Recklessness, impulsivity, deceitfulness, and a childhood diagnosis or symptoms consistent with a conduct disorder. That's what they call it when they're under 18. They don't like to give this official adult diagnosis until they're over 18, which makes them an adult. So as long as they're minor, they call it a conduct disorder. Okay. So they say the exact causes are unknown, although environmental and genetic factors have been implicated. Someone with a parent that has it displays antisocial personality disorder is likely to have them too. Refer to my article that I wrote probably, I don't know, 15 years ago called The Stupid Motherfucker Gene. It was written tongue in cheek, just it's not a scientific article. But what it does is take the reality of inherited genetics and environmental behaviors and how those influence your offspring. And so it's, like I said, it has a silly name, but the content is very serious and it's very realistic. But a stupid motherfucker dream is up on survivingdating.com if you want to read it. So yeah, so they say that, and so they say about 3%, according to these statistics, about 3% of men have this. That means they've been officially diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. But I don't, them numbers is just way skewed, just way under. It's probably more like 70%. And the reason why is because they can only diagnose somebody if that person has been seen by a mental health professional, right? So unless the guy has come into contact with the criminal justice system for some kind of violent thing and then had to have mandatory, sessions for assessment with a psychologist or a psychiatrist, then he wouldn't necessarily be part of these statistics because of HIPAA. If you even if he went to a private doctor, none of his records are going to be in the public domain. So these numbers are very skewed when you really look at how they gather these statistics. They only gonna know what they know from the public domain, and that's when you got most of these men had never having seen a mental health professional, even though they fucking need to. They're flying under the radar, and they're not included in this in these statistics. But we know they exist. They said that there's really no cure for it. They rarely seek treatment on their own, and they may only get therapy when they're mandated to do so by a court. So, the likelihood of you running into a dude with antisocial personality disorder who's ever gotten treated for it is very slim. They're going to have it, but they're not going to be, getting any help. But they do say there's a new drug, an antipsychotic medication called clozapine that has shown promising results in men. So that's something to keep in mind. And then now we're going to get into my three groups. I know you've been waiting for that. We're going to get into the three groups that I say men's behavior basically can be divided into. What is this? Oh, all right. Group number one. You see, these dudes are like what they call a certifiable nutcases. Okay, group number one of behaviors is manipulation of women's reality and environment. I mean, an enjoyment of their lives to maintain the upper hand. Now, that is a broad umbrella, but I'm going to read that to you again in case you didn't catch it because that was a lot of words. Manipulation of women's reality and enjoyment of their lives to maintain the upper hand. Now, under that umbrella, this is group A of the three groups, is gaslighting. I put that first. That's a very effective form of emotional abuse. That's where a man will get you to thinking that what you see as facts, what you know as reality, is maybe should be questioned. Maybe that's not the way it was. Maybe you forgot something. Whatever it is, he's twisting your mind around so that you start doubting yourself, doubting your own reality, doubting what you saw with your own two eyes. It's master game playing nonsense. But a lot of dudes do it. It just has you questioning what you feel, what you thought. No, that's not really what you said. That's not what you thought. That's not how it happened. And you know for a fact that is exactly what happened and exactly what you said, exactly what he said. But then they start with that nonsense trying to get you to believe otherwise. All right. They tell women that facts are not true. They start sharing their opinion or they bullshit ass game to get you to think something else. That's gaslighting. Okay, telling her to change something about herself, right? Now she might be perfectly happy with what she is and what she looks, but because he can't control you when you have a good self-esteem and confidence, he has to do something to break that, break that down. Just like in these videos, the men just openly say it. You got to crush her, right? Haven't they said that? I've showed you guys several videos where these guys are telling other men that that is how they need to treat you. You have to crush her ego. You have to crush her. You have to smash her. Okay, this is what they're sharing with other men. Um, so in order to do that, they have to make you feel insecure, right? So they tell you you need a boob job, you need to lose weight, you need to dress different. He don't like that, or it looks stupid. You need to cut your hair, grow your hair, take that weave out. You got natural hair. No, I like straight hair. You got straight hair. No, I like natural hair. Whatever it is, whatever there is about you that you like about yourself, he's going to attack it and make you, in the goal rather, not say he's going to succeed, but his goal is to make you not like yourself and to lose confidence and for your self-esteem to be hit. All right. Saying not all men, like I said earlier, instead of addressing the concerns that women have, lying, just straight lying to you. So, another way to manipulate your reality and, your enjoyment of your life to get the upper hand. Because, right, you living in a false reality because you believe his ass. And he lying like there's just no tomorrow. He lying because it's just Tuesday. Or my daddy said he lying like a rug. That's what my daddy used to say. It was so funny. Guilt tripping. That's another manipulative tactic a lot of men use. Possessive and jealousy. Basically, what they try to do is use your jealousy as an excuse to, their jealousy rather, as an excuse to go through your phone and your things, to check and see what you're doing and have you jumping through all these hoops and, trying to, double, triple explain stuff and call him all the time and text him where you doing and all this stuff so he can keep tabs on you. See, what you're supposed to do is go out the door and don't see his ass till you get back. And he's gonna be like, "Well, where was you? I was calling you." It's like, "Yeah, I know." And I didn't answer because I didn't want to. I'm busy. I have shit to do. I'm trying to be checking in with you. Shit, what are you, a probation officer? Parole officer, I mean? God damn it. They want to tell you that you can't wear certain things because now you my wife, you my girlfriend, you this and that. So, they try to put you in this box. And a lot of you ladies unfortunately fall for it. Well, that's my man and I represent him and he represents me. Bullshit. But you the Bopsy twins. He will ignore your presence. A lot of young women have written in talking about how they get dressed up to go. They think they're going on a date, right? They go to the boyfriend's house to meet him, and they just sit there and watch him play video games. And they think that's a date, and they stay to it. How about colorism? It's not my favorite topic, but it is definitely one where they try to, determine your reality, hurt you emotionally, hurt you mentally, and crush you. That's why I keep telling you, sister, you got to know the game. You don't let them fuck with your head like that. Don't do it. Getting all like, oh, they hate us. They don't like us. It's like, so what? Shit, fuck them. Who is they? I mean, they not paying you. So why are you worried about it? What they think and what they like and what they want. Fuck them. Okay? Or he only gives you love and affection and kindness when you do what he wants. Otherwise, he's cold or he's just not there at all. He just leaves you, abandons you. Those are the guys who'll say, well, I didn't like how you did such and such. And so they don't talk to you. You try to talk to them or spend time with them, whatever. They, push you away. You try to kiss him, he turns his head. You try to give him a hug, he knocks your hands away. He don't sleep in the bed, he don't sleep on the couch. All this kind of stuff because he's totally punishing you because you didn't do what he wanted you to do. But as soon as you do what he wants you to do, then he's all lovey-dovey. So what he's doing basically is training you like a dog in order to, you get a Scooby snack, which is his attention and his time when you do what he wants you to do. And a lot of women they don't even see the game. And so they going along with it. Then they thought, well, it's just easier if I do what he wants. And then he got you right where he wants you, under his thumb. Come on now. They use name calling and other oppressive language like stupid or, you such a girl to make you feel like you less and, to attack your self esteem. Number 11, they create a rape culture. Men are very much participating in a rape culture where sexual violence against women is normalized and excused. I will show you some slides after I finish this group that, goes through that too. Men who call themselves trans women and defining female biology. That's the biggest bunch of shit right there. Making girls responsible for adult male behavior. This happens a lot where they say, well, I saw this judge, rather, this dude that molested this little girl, right? And he had her in his lap and she was wiggling around. And so it was his defense was, and the judge bought it. Well, she was moving around and that was why he became excited. And, she had to do something about it. She couldn't just, leave him like that. She was a baby. That kind of stuff. Okay. Or they call little girls, a little older maybe, that get molested. They say, well, she was fast. No, he was a fucker. He knew she was a kid. Why you blaming her? That kind of stuff. And the women be on that end on that shit too. Telling women how to be women like you such a fucking authority on womanhood. Fuck out of here. Blaming the victim by saying stuff like, well, she asked for it or why was she there? She shouldn't have been drinking. What was she wearing? This kind of stuff. I'm sorry, you guys. I warned at the top of the show that this might be somewhat triggering for some people. So, like I said, if you have to click off today, I understand. No hard feelings. Um, well, this isn't designed. Let me just stop for a minute. This show is not designed to make you sad or to make you really feel. I mean, I guess you might feel somewhat disappointed, but on this channel, I don't bullshit. Okay, I'm not going to fill your head with, full of fluff and cotton candy and a bunch of nonsense. I'm gonna give it to you straight. That's what I do. And this is the fucking reality for women. Okay, everybody sitting up there talking about being in the church and God and all this old stuff like this. You better get your head out the fucking Bibles and open up your eyes and look around you. Look around at what's going on. Okay, this is your reality. Put some shit in place to protect yourself and your daughters. You can't be going through life with this like pie in the sky attitude, like, oh, there's good black men out here, there's good men out here, this and that. Where the fuck are they? Okay, every time a woman believes that shit, then something happens and she's like, oh, well, I thought he was a good guy, I thought he was this, I thought he was that. Don't worry about that. They can prove that he's all of that, but in the meantime, you put some stuff in place as if he's not. Okay, because all these examples, like I'm telling you, are real things that men really do. And they do the shit every day. And they do it to women at work. They do it to women they're married to. They do it to women they're dating. They do it to their daughters. They do it to their nieces and their sisters. They do it to their female neighbors. They do it to women they don't even know that's on the bus, on the train, on the plane, walking up and down the street. This is our reality, ladies. Okay, there's no need to get sad. This is a learning experience for you. This is for you to get your mind right so you understand what you up against and stop thinking like you like in a living a fairy story. Okay, them days is over. Over. Been over if they ever even existed. All right, so let me go move on down my list. Trivializing women's experiences like, oh, well, boys will be boys, or that's how guys are. Or you talk about your pain like menstrual cramps, labor cramps, or emotional pain that men have levied on you. Well, it can't be that bad, you're just exaggerating. Oh, you women just use that as an excuse. I've had guys actually say that. You use that as an excuse. Now, they ain't never had a labor pain or menstrual cramp in their life, don't have no uterus either, don't know the first thing about it. But suddenly they had goddamn authority on menstrual cramps and they what you feel in your body. Child, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't the women in my family don't usually get cramps, but I had some twice in my life, and both times I thought I was going to die. The first time I think I was about 16, 17. And I thought seriously that death was coming. I just didn't know what to do. It was awful. I was crying like a little bitch and had no shame. But that was it. So I don't, and that's women who have to deal with that shit every month like that. I just felt so sorry. With just those two times in my life, I still remember that shit. And I tell you, you guys that have to deal with that every month, oh my God, I just don't even know. I just pity you. I probably could get a hysterectomy because I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm a sissy when it comes to that kind of stuff. I can't hang. All right. Or they define women as passive and submissive, and any woman that isn't that way is deemed unworthy or masculine. Any woman who stands up for herself and has, asserts her power and, is confident and knows her strength and her worth and stuff like that. Oh no, there's something wrong with you. You unmarriageable. You not marriage material. That's why you single. You get those kind of things hurled at you by stupid people that are male. Um, they express the attitude that women, uh, just because they're female, aren't as competent or as smart as men and not as capable, especially in corporate America, and especially in the government, and especially to women of color. Okay, they really get it. Or number 19, label a woman who isn't comfortable with his sexual demands as frigid or cold or something being wrong with her. Pretending to love and care about a woman when you really don't. Burning women at the stake, proclaiming to be witches because they have powers and manifest energies in ways you do not understand and never will. This attitude of burning you at the stake is being carried over towards women in government now. It's not a physical burning like it used to be. It's more a like a what a like burning of their reputation, burning of their image. But it's the same thing as basically trying to kill them and to move them out of the way so some man can be up in that place. And pretending to be a good and nice guy when you aren't, and you just want sex just like every other motherfucker that's walking up to her. You isolate women from the ones that care about her so you can have more influence and control. You make women believe that what they wore, should have wore, or drank, or shouldn't have drank is the reason that they were intact instead of acknowledging that they were attacked because men are foul, disgusting beasts. Using religion to seduce and mislead women into sexual acts, coercing her by using violence, intimidation, degradation to gain control. If you refusing to listen to her as if she's not important, you watch TV, you look at your phone, you read the paper, you start humming, putting on headphones to tune her out, or just get up and walk out like, what? And teaching women how to keep from getting raped instead of men how not to rape. And then the last one on my list is constant criticism and attacks to lower her self esteem and confidence, always pointing out her flaws or errors or why she isn't good enough. Now, those are all the things that fell under point A. I told you I divided the stuff that women were telling me into basically three categories of fuckery by men. And this was category A or one, whatever, manipulation of women's reality and enjoyment of their lives to maintain the upper hand. So, what I want to do now, I'm going to show you guys my slides and let you take a look at these. Um, I don't know. Will I be talking? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. But I want you to see these are pulled from a survey that I had up for this show, asking women to share with me how men demonstrate their hatred of women. It's on my Google Drive. This is, can you see that? That's a printout of it. How men demonstrate their hatred of women. And it just had three questions, just asked the women to share their stories. All right, so here we go. These are quotes from some of our illustrious political leaders and why we say that we live now in a rape culture. There's nothing much you can say about this. These are quotes, and these are the people who said them right here on this screen. This woman was replying, this was a Twitter stream, asking, about women, about their claims about men being foul. He wanted proof. And so this was something that she responded with. Something not quite right. And so the women were sharing how old they were when, um, and some of the things that happened with, with grown men or, anyway, older guys. All right. This refers to my next point in section 2 or B. Um, Sociopathic use of her energy, body, or resources for your selfish agenda to gain more control and power. That's my second grouping of foul things that men do, and we'll be coming up on those after the slideshow. And what's coming up now are things I lifted from responses to the survey I just showed you that was on my Google Drive. There is no sound in case someone's asking. I'm just letting you read some of these. Like I said, I understand if this is triggering for you and somebody has to click off. I understand. It was hard for me to make these slides. Trust me. We're almost done. I think this one is ridicule and verbal abuse one. When she says at the bottom that she's 70 years old and these old fuckers are still harassing the women. See, that's some shit. It's just like your dick ain't worked in 40 years, motherfucker. Sit down some damn where. But, here they are, just bothering women even as long as they can walk and talk. This is just unbelievable. And I think on this one, the body shamed and insulted one, um, every woman has experienced what she's talking about here. Every single one. They tell you you too fat or you too skinny. You too this, you too that. Something, whatever they tell you is going to be something that where you are, to something that you need to change to suit his opinion of what you should be. And then that's that. So I just wanted to share those with you guys so that you could see what I saw. And like that's not even that's just a small portion of what the lady sent in. I would have been able to make more slides, but since I'm a last minute Susie, that's all you get. I may have to use some of them in another show another time, but um, we'll worry about that then. Gotta turn my light on. It's kind of dark today, so the lighting is weird different. All right. So now I want to go to, okay, I read you reason number one. Okay, I told you how I divided the stories that women share with me and the things that men did to them, and there was thousands of them. I divided them into three basic categories. Category number one is manipulation of women's reality and enjoyment of their lives to maintain the upper hand, and I gave you all, everything I put under that category is like 30 different things. All right, now we move on to number two, the use of her energy, body, or resources for your selfish agenda to gain more control and more power. All right, cheating on her. What other way is there to gain more energy from women than lying to several of them at the same time? Number one, demanding that she lower her standards so you get what you want out of her, even though you know you don't measure up. You're not what she wants at all. Objectifying women's bodies for a cheap thrill, making your needs more important than hers. Like if she wants to be alone to read a book, well, suddenly you need some food and she got to get in the kitchen and cook. Or you need her to do something, whatever. Anyway, you put on demand on her for her time and attention right now because she's not paying attention to you that second and she's doing something to develop herself and please herself and make herself happy and better herself. You don't want that. She's doing too much. So you have you know, to interrupt that little plan. Believing that if she says no, it means convince me. Remember, I done told you guys how they do that. When you say no, they gonna keep wheedling and wheedling and wheedling, trying to break you down. I had a male friend, well, he was a trainer friend of mine. I had to get rid of his ass because we were talking one time, and this was years ago, talking about something, and he told me, well, when a woman tells me no, I just think that means I just need to keep asking until she says yes. I said, is that really what you think? And he said, yeah, that's what I think. I said, oh, well, let's hang up now. And that was it. I didn't take never took another call from that motherfucker. I never told him why. I didn't feel like I needed to. It's like you're a fucker and I'm not trying to be bothered with you. So you going over there with your mental case attitude and make yourself happy. But I couldn't be that's not anybody I want to be affiliated with. Or this one, telling her that she doesn't really know what she wants. So you're gonna tell her what she wants, which is of course really what you want. It's not what she wants, it's what you want. What you want her to want. Following scripts of pickup artists or these other male manipulators online to quote score hot chicks end quote. Number 8, proclaiming women to be only good for a pump and dump. How often have we heard that from black men online? Number 9, glamorizing mistreatment of women and sexual misconduct as a tool to gain power. So instead of emulating people that you might see on TV who are about their grind, making some money, starting a business, going back to school, oh no, you're going to imitate the people that are doing vile, violent things to women. That's what you're going to do because you're stupid. Number 10, harassment on the street, at work, on the phone, on the web, everywhere that women are. These guys want to, say some foul shit and try to harass you. I'm just so glad I have a foul mouth though. Because I remember I went to this it was an app show in San Francisco, and this was years ago. I'm kind of a geek, right? And so I'm like one of three black people up in the whole joint. It was me and two black dudes. And they was young, like in their 20s. And so I'm sitting there, there was this guy, they were doing a presentation, right? And I'm in the audience, and just like the rows of seats. And these little white boys sitting next to me are going to start talking about, these women this and these women that, and how women shouldn't be in check and all this kind of stuff. And I guess they called themselves trying to loud talk or something, like thinking that I was going to be like, too scared to say something. So I turned, how you got, because there's people, right? And so I leaned forward. I said, come over here and say that to my fucking face. Do it and shut their little asses right down because they were young and stupid. And they think that because it's two or three of them that they're going to intimidate somebody. And I said the shit loud so even the speakers up on the stage heard me say it. And so everybody got quiet and they didn't move their little asses out that seat. So it's like, so I think sometimes, you ladies, um, they just talking shit and they're in a situation where there's a whole bunch of people. You can talk shit too. Don't be intimidated. Do not. Because they wasn't going to do shit. But I know one thing, I didn't feel like hearing that shit. I was there to hear the speakers. And so, I had to shut them down right quick. Okay, so then number 10 was the harassment part. Okay, number 11, take away reproductive rights and choice and autonomy over our own body. Look at the shit just today. What state was that? I forgot. I heard it on the radio this morning. Just this morning, because, they're 3 hours ahead of the West Coast. They saw some other state sign something into law about a 8-week abortion. And so all of these things, they're trying to slowly pick away at Roe v. Wade. I'm telling you, women better get your shit together and turn up in mass, even if you are too old to get an abortion. It doesn't matter if you would get one or not. You need to keep the right to have one available to all women. These old fuckers, old white, dried up, Viagra taking motherfuckers trying to tell somebody what to do with their uterus and what you can and cannot do. I'm telling you, they're pedophiles. That can be the only reasonable, logical reason why this is such a focus for all these old men. Okay, they ain't gonna make no big damn babies. They grandfather age. What is it about? Pedophilia. I'm trying to tell y'all, but people don't believe me. I'm always right. I just see shit like decades before other people do. And I've been saying this for the last 15 years for real. I saw it a long time ago. When that Trump thing happened with them little kids from Mexico, I knew that what that was about as soon as I heard about it. All right. So then number 12, demanding that she meet your entitled desires. Well, you want a threesome, he wants this, he wants you to do some old freak shit, and you don't want to do it. And, so you get threatened and stuff. But basically, he's trying to use your body to satisfy his whims, and no concern for what you want to do, or if it hurts you, feels violates your morals or boundaries, your sense of self being, your being, nothing. He don't care. He just wants you to do what he wants you to do because that's what he wants and he likes that, and so you supposed to do it for him. Molesting children, little defenseless kids, getting you to co-sign on loans on vehicles and businesses and credit cards. Then they run them into the ground. They crash the cars. They do all this shit because they don't care. Because they know that they don't have no money. They don't have no credit. The one who's gonna be on the hook to pay for it is you. They don't give a fuck. They just doing something. They using you. And y'all gotta just stop doing that. I have a friend who was telling me a story about she did that for some dude. I was like, oh my god, I didn't meet her, till after she already did it, but um, I was like, ooh, if I had known you then, I'd tell, don't do that shit. Should make his ass go save up his money and go get one from the auction. He can get it on his own name. You don't have to get credit. You can pay cash. Just save your little coins. Stealing your ideas and presenting them at your own in professional and social settings. How many times of us in corporate America had to deal with that? You happen to mention it, right? That's why I say don't be telling people don't tell people shit. You present your ideas yourself. Keep your shit to yourself. Even if you work on a team, just don't say nothing. Just say, "Oh, well, I just thought of it earlier this morning. I didn't really have time to talk to you about it." And present your shit at your meeting by yourself. So any credit that's gonna be getting, any bonuses, that's gonna be any kind of recognition, awards, or promotions, it will go to you instead of your boss or some other person on your team that's a male stealing ideas and trying to take credit for the shit. And most women will be too intimidated to say, "Oh yeah, here you are in the meeting presenting my idea like it's yours." You guys not gonna say that like me. I don't give a fuck. It's like you didn't think of that. Little nasty motherfucker. What you trying to do? And just call him out and bust him out. Um, Demanding that stranger smile or say hello to you to fluff up your ego. Okay, that's what they do. You might have some situation where somebody just died or something, and here you are walking down the street trying to hold your tears in. Here comes some motherfucker telling you to smile and you too cute to look like that and all this kind of stuff. Keep your damn opinion to yourself. I didn't ask you for that shit, and I charge $1,000 for a smile, motherfucker. You got $1,000 in cash. I don't take credit or checks. Then I'll be showing you hella teeth. Trust me. That you don't get been paying me. I don't need to show you shit. Terrorizing women by following or stalking them, following them down the street, saying foul shit in their ears while you do it. Nasty freak. Changing laws so that in 30 states, and this is the truth now, in 30 states in this country, if a woman gets raped and for some unknown reason decides that she wants to keep the baby, I guess she's not believing abortion or whatever. Do you know that the person who raped you, if they find out, they can file for parental rights and get visitation? They can even fight you for custody. Did you know that? And this is what some of the things they want to take away with this abortion thing, so that women don't have the right to to get rid of a rapist baby. They will ghost you and then reappear as they please. Or they pit women against each other. This is one of their favorite things, ways to use your energy, right? To direct it towards them. Because they're going to, they pit married women against single women. And they pit wives against single women. Like, wives are always better and this and that. So you got all these married women preening and stuff, even though they're miserable as hell, but they still feel like they're better off than being single. Or they, pick on your hair color, your skin color, your hair texture, your body size, your race, old against young. You compare your woman against your mother, or you compare your woman against your ex. or one of your exes, or you tell her like something she don't like that you do in bed or that you do period. Well, all the other women liked it. So see, it's this constant pitting women against each other, trying to create this competition so that she will exert more energy to prove herself to be better and more worthy than these women that you're, comparing her to. That's the game, ladies. Don't play it. Don't let them use you, play you like that. Will use you to feed them, to clothe them, and educate them, and then they turn their back and run off and with somebody else after you done all that servitude. Or they coerce you. Coercion is a common one. Well, if you really loved me, you would. That's how it always starts. That's called coercion. And another version of coercion. Well, if you don't do it for me, some other woman will. See, so it's not like they hit you. They don't call you names. They don't, twist your arms. They don't do anything to you. It's all verbal. It's all designed to get you in your head and fuck you up to make you give them more energy, more focus, more of your time, more of your body, whatever it is he's angling for more options to get in your wallet, whatever it is. He's trying to set a situation up so that that's what happens and you giving him more. Okay? Some of them will intentionally sabotage your birth control because they want you to be pregnant. Because nothing's more vulnerable than a pregnant woman. And they know that. Especially to kind of get like heavy morning sickness or whatever. You no good for a couple hours every day. And so, they like feel like, your body's too nice. They want to fuck it up with stretch marks and stuff. Or, you think you too cute to be somebody's mama. So they sabotage your birth control. So you better watch that too. Um, or they demand that, like, say you do get pregnant, you want to get an abortion, or then they start hitting you with that, well, don't kill my baby. And even though they don't have no intention of getting married you and being a family and helping, take care of that child, they just want you to be saddled down with some old spawn of the demon spawn rather, and just to like to bring you down to earth, just to fuck up your game. That's all that is. That's why we got to keep abortion for our daughters. For no, we got to keep it around. Because, they will do this to get your girls pregnant on purpose and just to fuck them up, clip their wings, make them not be able to be, their dreams not to be able to come true. And that just makes them feel positively satisfied. And then once she has a baby, see, they can control her. Well, you can't do that because, that's my child. And you can't go there and that's because, who going to watch my baby? And now my baby can't be around them. Nah, nah, nah. And so it puts a girl in a very bad position. So she, girl, they don't need to be having no babies by these fools. Okay, so that's grouping number two. Use of her energy, body, or resources for your selfish agenda to gain more control and more power. Okay, so those are a bunch of examples that women sent me. Okay, now my final grouping is number three is a dearth of honor, character, and morals because you are just a generally fucked up person. Okay, now that's not scientific or anything, but that is group number three. Everything else has to do with behaviors of men. Blame shifting. Okay, these are like moral things, values, negative behaviors, poor, characteristics of personality. Blame shifting, no matter what happens or what you did as a dude to screw up, somehow you gonna flip it around and blame it on her. It's gonna be her fault. Oh, she distracted you. She didn't wake you up in time. That's why you was late and got fired from your job. It's something. It's gonna always. Why did you let me drink so much? Why didn't you stop me from blah blah blah? So it's like like they have no self control like they children. But these are the same men who want to say, "Well, I'm the king, I'm the leader. You need to submit to me, and I'm the head of the household." How that work? On one hand, you act like an infant that can't do shit by yourself. You need mommy to help you, but then you want all this power and control. So y'all better understand the game and be looking at this shit and analyzing because they be so full of it. It's just ridiculous. You run away from and refuse to be responsible and accountable. You act like you know every damn thing. Oh my God, I can't hear stand these dudes. From real women to what you were trying to say, so he has to interrupt and say it for you or talk over you, because he knows more than you do about anything. Womanhood, space, even though you have a degree in it and you may be an astronaut or something. Somehow he magically knows more about it than you do. I can't stand those kind of motherfuckers. Oh my God, they get on my nerves so bad. You tell other men that women need to have their egos broken. We saw a bunch of them on YouTube. Calling biological women turfs. Verbal abuse in public and at home and online. Physical aggression. Being inconsistent and wishy washy and undependable. Domestic violence towards women that you claim to love, inappropriate touching of women and girls and even children, personal space violations like manspreading or standing too close to women so that your nasty parts of your body be touching onto her. Stand back, fucking freak. See, I be checking folks when I be on BART. When I be on BART, I have like all kind of inches of space behind around me. If it's some men, if it's women, we got our persons to kind of provide the barrier. We know the game. As soon as it get crowded, here comes a man trying to press his nasty dick on your ass or something like that. I will turn right around and look him in the face and say, "You need to back up or turn the other way or some shit. I don't want to feel your dick on me. What kind of shit is this?" And then they just look at you and get all embarrassed. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have been doing it then. You thought I was gonna be all scared and stuff. Now I'm not gonna be scared. I'm gonna stay right where I was standing. The one that's gonna move is gonna be you, motherfucker, because you the one that came in my space. So you need to back the fuck up and get right back out of it. You and your nasty dick. Ooh, just gross. No respect for her or her needs or her property or her dreams. You put her down. You tell her it's stupid. She's not good enough. That won't work anyway. Whatever it is, you just try to make, just tear her down. You steal or damage her possessions, especially the stuff that you know means something to her, like her pets or her something, property that she has. You set women up. They set women up to get fleeced. They set women up for sexual assault. They set women up for robbery. Don't let them be mad at you. That's why I don't be liking to tell me and how much money I have or nothing. There is no information about what I make, what I have, nothing. You don't get no information. You don't even get to know where I bank unless I guess if you see my debit card, that might be a clue. But other than that, you don't need to know. Um, you abduct women and girls for prostitution. You trick women you love into prostituting because you claim, well, baby, we need it, and I can't work and we don't have, and so then you try to, well, it'll just be this one time. And then the next thing you know, she hoeing. Spiking drinks for fun. Now, this was terrible. I read a whole article about this. They think this shit is fun. This was based on a study that was published in the American Psychological Association Psychology of Violence Journal, and it looked at spiking drinks on campuses. So this team of researchers went out and they surveyed more than 6,000 students, and the findings were horrific. Of these 6,000, more than 20% of the young women reported that they had unwanted sex after being given a spiked drink. Unwanted sex. What does that mean? Rape. That's what that means. More than 20%. Okay. When asked why they thought they had been drugged, the women said to rape us. So that means these dudes are doing this with the intent. Are you understanding what's going on here? They're buying these drugs and they're intentionally giving them to girls because they want to fuck them up so they can rape them. That's what's going on college campuses and other places too. But they're really doing it to college, because there's so much drinking going on in campuses. You know what I used to do at college? You know them water bottles, them athletic bottles. They have, it has a top that flips over and you drink and then you flip the top back up so it's like you can turn it upside down and nothing drips out. It's like, waterproof. I would have that shit and it had a wrist strap and then, you put it around your wrist and then you hold it, right? And I put my drink in there before I ever got to the party. And that's all I would drink. I'm not drinking no water. You ain't give me no punch. I'm not drinking out your cup. I'm not drinking out no bottle. I don't give a fuck if I just see you open it. It could be a bottle of beer from the liquor store. I don't care. The only thing I'm drinking is what my ass brought. And I suggest if you have a daughter going to college, you hip her to that game because I'm telling you, that was the shit. And they have cute little bottles now. People used to use flasks and stuff, but I don't trust them. I want that fold over shit that, with a little lock on it so it's waterproof. That's what all college girls need to have if they're gonna be going partying. And don't sit it down. Get use the wrist. They can dance with it. And since it's not nothing to splash out, right? You can be on the dance floor. Sip, 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 sip. Flip that thing back down. I used to do it with my teeth. Shh, honey, and I never had to worry about getting no drugs. Um, So this one girl told a story, right, about how she and her girlfriend, and there's this guy that they knew, right? They knew him from class and whatnot. I mean, they would socialize with him and stuff. So he made them some drinks, and they trusted him. And they ended up blacking out. And then when they woke coming to, they found out what had happened to him and stuff. And they had been but raped, both of them. And so it says the males at the interview said that when I asked the researchers why they did it, they said they just do it for fun. They do it for the music, they do it for the jokes. But none of the girls said that. All the girls expressed concern over being sexually assaulted, and not one of them found the shit to be funny. So, it just shows there's some problem with males and this power and control and domination over women to the point where they would get the women, incapacitated to feel it. And they only, still teenagers, some of them in college, 18, 19 years old. Just stupid. What other ways do men violate your boundaries? This is under the general fuckery category. A dearth of honor, character, and morals because you are just generally a fucked up human being. That's category number 3. Under this are also 18, sending dick pics to women on the internet, like somebody want to see that ugly wrinkled up thing. Don't nobody want to see that, especially if those of you who have baby sized dicks. Please keep that to yourself. You're embarrassing yourself sending people that. Don't nobody want to see that. You're gonna get your feelings hurt when women laugh at it. They can send you back a picture of a Vienna sausage and say the sausage is bigger. See, mm-mm. Number 19, requesting pics of women's genitals or breasts. Send me a pic of this and that. Motherfucker, no. Pay your 19.99 and go on a porn site and make that happen. Get out of here. Number 20, flashing your dick at women in public places like trains and buses and what you call them, subway cars and all the stuff. Don't nobody want to see that shit. You old fucking pervert. Groping women and girls' breasts or broad buttocks or pressing your dick up against them on public transit. I just talked about that. Lewd gestures and sexist comments to her as she walks by, minding her business, going to work or school or the doctor or to take care of her sick mother or wherever she's going. You don't know where she's going or what's on her mind. But here you go, making your nasty comments. Fucking freak. Who you think want to hear that shit? And you think you're going to get respect for that? You think you're going to get a number? See, they're doing it because they know that it upsets you. It makes them feel powerful. And it's like, to me, just the weakest kind of man. He's just a bitch ass, punk ass, to think that that's how he has to try to feel powerful, to terrorize women with some foul words and body language. Just stupid. They think that cat calling and saying, hey, hottie, hey, baby, woo, fine, all that kind of stuff is flattery. When it's really just as annoying as it's annoying as fuck. That's what it is. It's annoying as fuck. And don't nobody want to talk to you. It's not gonna get you endear you to no woman. It's just gonna make her know that you just a foul, funky beast. And then she gonna just roll her eyes and not pay you no mind because you're dumb. Okay? You infringe on women's discussions about their needs and goals with your unsolicited opinions and put downs of feminism as you promote, quote, the olden days. Now, this is me. I added this one because I was looking at some of these forums and on Facebook, and that's what the dudes was doing. I'm like, oh, you piece of shit, get out of here. And then dudes will beg to go in raw, right, or just put in just the tip, right? How many of us have heard that? And then suddenly you turn up pregnant, they want to run around like Chicken Little, the sky's falling, and I don't want no kids. Motherfucker, then why did you want to go bear up in somebody? That's how babies are made. What the hell? What are you doing? You can't have it both ways. You fucking raw, that means you want a baby. That's what that means. Okay, just own it. Generally saying dumb shit. Just like, oh, only ugly women are feminists because they can't get a man. Or women only want you if you're 6'3" and rich. Or they say into anything that a woman says. That's why you're single. Or telling women how to spend the child support chump change that you send. That 89.99, like so that's doing something. Please, kid ate that shit up in 2 days. You tripping, especially if it's a teenager. Or you claim that women are gold diggers when you only have pyrite. You know what pyrite is, right? That's what's technically it's commonly called fool's gold. It's a mineral called pyrite. That's what it is. Fool's gold. That's all that women can be digging from your ass because you don't have nothing. Generally asking dumbass questions like, who hurt you in response to everything? Or why can't black women smile more? Or why are black women so mean? Or you exhibited just general bitch assness and weakness of the mind with silly juvenile games way into your 40s and even beyond. It's just very disappointing. Now, ladies, that was a lot. I know that was a lot. Those of you who stuck around to hear my long ass list, I might even put it up on the blog because um, listening to this is just a lot. But I might put it up so you can actually see it on surviving dating, but I won't be able to do it till the weekend. But yeah, I think that this pretty much sums up the behaviors of men divided into my, like I said, my three categories. I just instantly, as I was reading them, I formed those three categories in my mind, and I think that is pretty accurate. All right, but women, recognizing the widespread negative impact of these kind of behaviors formed different kinds of action committees and organizations to try to combat men's behavior and organize women to fight it together. There's this Say Her Name. Did you guys hear about that? Pound Say Her Name. That was a movement started for black female victims of police brutality and violence. Between 2005 and 2007, there were 550 arrests of police officers who murdered or attacked black women. 76% of them were attacks on adult women. 24% were minor children under the age of 18. Most were for sexual misconduct while on duty, and in uniform. I mean, how trifling can you get? Your ass is so intrigued by these black women's bodies that you just gonna risk your job, your pension, your family, your marriage, and your children, your reputation, community, and everything, because you can't control yourself. You got what they call it, jungle fever. That's what you got. You just gonna ditch everything because of that. Okay, then people say white men don't like black women. Fuck out of here. You tripping. They just try to keep it under control. But in a position like this, where he felt these few dudes feel like they have, power over the person, they just let it fly. And that's what it is. They can't stand it. They love that chocolate. Now, the charges against these men were levied as sexual violence, forcible rape, and fondling, along with the statutory rape that they got charged with behind minors. 550, and that was just in those 2 years, 2005 to 2007. Keep that in mind. Those are just the ones that women reported it. Okay? That doesn't mean that's all that there is. The Me Too movement, that was started in 2006 to help survivors of sexual violence, particularly black women and girls and other women of color from low income communities. It was designed to provide resources and referrals for women who you typically don't get any because of their income and the neighborhoods that they lived in. A black woman named Tarana Burke is the founder of that. You may have seen her picture around. I have a slide of her, but I didn't have time to mess with it, so you don't get to see her today. But just search her name, search Me Too founder or something. I'm sure she'll pop up. There's Time's Up movement, which came on the heels of the Me Too movement after all that stuff with Harvey Weinstein, whatever his name is, went down. This is an offshoot of Me Too, and it started, but it was focusing on Hollywood celebrities, okay, not regular people like the Me Too movement. It started in January of 2018. By December of last year, 2018, they had raised $22 million for their legal fund and had 800 volunteer attorneys on board. That's the power of Hollywood that you can't get when you're just a regular black woman. Nobody gives a fuck. Interesting, we even had one half of that, 25% of those millions. What could be done with it to help sisters? These little sisters disappearing off the street. There's another one called Yes All Women. Pound Yes All Women. This one was started after Elliot Rodger. Remember him? That little 22-year-old crazy white boy that went berserko at the University of Santa Barbara shooting all them co-eds. He was mad because there was nobody giving him no trim. And this one is designed to address male values, that beauty and youth Beauty and youth and strength are rewarded, that women are prizes, that lonely and poor men are invisible, and that wealth and fame are the highest attainments for men and guarantee them the woman of their desires and all of that other stuff. And that, but in reality, and I was gonna make a somebody wanted me to make a response about that Aisha Curry thing, and I decided not to because what I have to say can be summed up in just a few sentences. Men respect other men more than they respect women's no. That's why women will create, a husband, a boyfriend, a fiance, or something when some dude's trying to get. I mean, she might really have one, but she will bring it up to kind of augment her no. Thank you, Faith. Because men, see women as property belonging to some other men. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you could use it to your advantage in a situation like this. So these dudes don't want to talk to Mrs. Curry because of her husband. Because on a male pecking order, Stephen Curry is at the top of the mountain. Dude is world famous. He's rich as fuck. He's talented as fuck. Everybody knows him. He's a nice guy. He's married to this beautiful woman. He's got three of the most adorable children you've ever seen in your life. I mean, dude is handsome. He's a Christian. I mean, what are they gonna do? What do they have to offer her that she would pay it even give them a second look? She got like dude who's like number one in the world, right up next to Obama. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like what? What are they gonna do? So sister girl, that's why you ain't getting no play from nobody. It's because of your husband. They know they don't have a chance. They would look like a fool trying to say something to you. They get shot down, and nobody, the men don't want to get their egos all shot up. So that's my answer to that situation, and to me, it wasn't worth no whole video. All right. There's also another one called Not Just Hello. Now, this one has to deal with street harassment and men who whine and say they're just being polite, and why can't women just smile and say hello? Those of you who saw my video on street harassment, a little cartoon video where the guy was expressing those kind of sentiments, and so women were sharing. This all took place on Twitter. Women were sharing their thoughts on this, and so I copied down on some of them, a couple of them. This one says to this guy, he's like, "Did you ever think that maybe a guy sees a chick, he says. He thinks it's hot and just wants to try to strike up a convo. And so the women came back and they tore his ass up. And they was like, did you ever think that women don't want to strike up a convo with a strange man? And others said, I wear headphones and read books on the train. A guy pulled my headphones off to, quote, discuss my book with me. The day I found out my grandmother was dying, the guy told me to smile. When I didn't, he called me a stuck up bitch. I used to walk alone in my neighborhood as a teen until a grown man with a child my age stalked me for my name and number. I was out for my girl's birthday with a group for friends. A guy got mad that we were out to dance and not meet anyone and called us all cunts. At the time, I told the dude on the subway that no, I don't want to talk to him. I got up and walked away. He followed me and spit at me. It's not pound just hello. It's fear of retaliation for both responding and for not responding. And that is what many women express. If you respond, he gonna keep fucking with you, bothering you, want your number, and just not leave you the damn alone. Just like get lost. Or if you don't respond, then he's gonna respond with anger and violence and threats of violence and follow you and act a zip damn fool. You might end up having to stab his ass to make him leave you alone. So it puts women in a very awkward position. They don't know whether they should say hello, just be polite, or if they should be quiet because you are one of them ignorant fucks that don't know how to just say hello and just keep it moving. See, that would be your best bet if you really just wanted somebody to say hello to you. But that's not what you do. You just want to fuck with people and just bother the fuck out of them, and they don't want to talk to you. That happens to a woman enough times. She's done. She don't want to be bothered. I'm just saying. And so, there's a whole segment, of the missing and murdered women, of which black women they're saying is somewhere around 500,000, you know, every year. So when you put all this together, you put all this together, especially for black women who have murdered, at rate 5 to 7 times the rate of women of any other race. When you put all this together, of how men talk to you, of how they talk to women, how they treat women, what they think of women, how they abuse women, how they kill women, how they stalk women, how they just think they're better than women and try to destroy you emotionally, psychologically, physically, mentally, and then financially in every way possible. When you put all that together, how they want to hurt your kids, you try to leave them right. They mad because they can't get to you, or they want to hurt you in a different way, so they kill your kids and make you watch stuff like that. Who thinks of some shit like that? But there's story after story in the news of men doing just that. So when you put all that together, is it really truly any surprise that women hate men? Y'all give us plenty of reason to. I mean, it's just so justifiable. The fact that more women don't, is really a blessing to you. I think a lot of it's because they just are unaware of the sheer volume of numbers of the havoc that men wreak on women worldwide. They are just unaware. Because if they really knew how y'all really acted and how y'all really felt and the stuff you all really did to women, they wouldn't like you either. So consider yourselves blessed. So, as far as this being able to ignore it thing goes, like I said earlier, you guys will tend to downplay it or something to try to act like it's not you. But that's why I read all of those different behaviors in those three categories, because some of that's you, and don't even front. It is. So in any way, shape, or form on this, anywhere on this list, you have been abusive to women. Okay, you have done some egregious shit, said some egregious shit, behaved in a really hurtful way, done something that you shouldn't have done, touched somewhere you shouldn't have touched, and done some foul, funky shit to manipulate or coerce a woman into giving you what you want. Okay, admit it, own it, and then change it. That's the only way. As long as you keep trying to act like there's some boogeyman over there in the closet somewhere in the dark and it's not you, then these behaviors towards women will continue. These are going to be your daughters. So you want to have it. My wife, my sister, my daughters. I'll kill somebody acting like that, this and that, blah blah blah. Yet you don't check men that you see doing that kind of stuff. You don't stop them. You don't say, man, stop doing it. That's foul. That's not, that ain't cool. Something like that. It don't have to be like you read him the riot act, but you just let him know that you disapprove of his behavior, and that ain't that he's not, he lost his man card doing that shit. Especially when they be hollering at little 12 and 13-year-old girls. Y'all really need to check them. That's just ridiculous. Um, yeah, because y'all be like, y'all are just anti. You just anti, like the antichrist, the opposite. You're anti joy, you anti peace of mind, you anti love, you anti caring, you anti supportive. You just, there's something wrong with y'all. And thinking, the stuff that's promoted all over the internet, that you need to break women, you need to smash them, you need to hurt them, you need to crush them. Even when you talk about sex with them, you got to beat that up. You got to do. I mean, all these conversations are violent in nature. They don't show any kind of love, concern, respect, nothing. It's all about domination, violence, using violence to do that violation, and gaining control of women. That's all y'all seem to think about. And that's some sick shit. So you ladies, better understand what time it is. I mean, if you want to talk about, what's your enemy, you say it's racism, economic, this and that, and blah, 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 blah. Those are all things within your power to change. What you do not have the power to change is how men talk to you and treat you. I mean, you can get away from them, after they do it, but there's millions more of them that have the same attitude. It's going to come the same way. So it becomes an issue, of you setting your boundaries and finding your voice. because a lot of the stuff that they say to you, they're going to keep saying it until you shut them down and tell them that that's not okay. And you have to have, whatever your limits are, and then you have to make sure you clearly communicate them, and then let him know, if you do this, 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 and this, if you talk to me this, and way, if you put your hands on me, this, and if you do anything to my kids, this, and this, we're done. And if it's anything like a bruises, cuts, or anything like that on me or my kids, motherfucker, your ass is mine. And I'm gonna make sure I call up Guido and them and Dante and them, and I'm gonna get you gonna have your ass kicked. And it's not gonna be me, but it's gonna be some big burly motherfuckers gonna stomp your ass, and you gonna wish that you had not done that to me. That's what you gonna wish. So you guys, it's a lot to think about. Thanks, lady in white. It's a lot to think about, I know. This is a very upsetting topic for a lot of women. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of men that's going to have issue with it. Expect to see this video talked about by my haters on YouTube, because they're going to be mad. But you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck what they think. My whole focus is on women. And my thing is, when y'all know the real deal, you can put some moves in place to protect yourself. As long as you getting fed that pie in the sky shit, like, all men are wonderful, they just love you and they're this and that. This, you're not going to be ready for it. When it comes, it's going to broadside you. I want you to know what's coming. I want you to be turned around and facing what's coming from the enemy. Because there's no way you can look at this shit, this kind of behavior, and think that that's somebody that's on your goddamn side, that's on your team, that gives a shit about you. They don't. They're all about what you can do for them and be for them to make their life better, more comfortable, and make them happy and serve their needs. That's what's going on here. So you figure out a way. We can be talking about this. This conversation is not going to end here, but this is laying the foundation to let you know what you're up against in a realistic fashion, and share the experiences of several thousand women, because each one of these things, was said by dozens of women. So this is like a consolidation of several thousand women's experiences with men. And like I said, I still have a lot more. This is front and back of stuff that women said that I couldn't even get to. I didn't have time. But this is a very it's worrisome. It's worrisome. But one thing that y'all better do is stop sitting on your ass. You better get up and start fighting for your rights. Fight, fight, fight. Just like the women did in the 50s and the 60s. Y'all, you got some advantages and stuff, but they trying to take them away every time you turn around. Even to the point where they trying to say that they're a better woman than you. And all kind of bullshit like that. And, have men in there talking about, I'm a trans, beating up women in women's sports, and putting these with concussions and breaking in women's skulls and all kind of shit. They're men, okay? They have man strength. There's nothing that can be done about that. Unless they pass adolescence, they got the male things working for them, and they're going to always have that kind of upper body strength, and there's nothing they or you can do about it. Those people should not be in sports with women, but, it's the same kind of thing with these guys here. They're not out for you. Okay, so you just take what I'm saying, and think about it and figure out what you're going to do and what direction you want to go. If you have any questions about this or any of the other videos, feel free to use the get advice form at the top of the channel and submit your question that way, or you can go on surviving dating and do it that way. Or actually, right, I forgot, right in the links down here in the show description page, there's a link to that form that makes it easy. Just click it. Go, open up the show description, just click the link, and it'll take you right to the advice submission form. All right. I want to thank everybody for sitting in with me. I know this was an upsetting topic for a lot of you. I am sorry, but it's a very necessary discussion for us to have, because I want you to go out into the world fully armed and fully aware of what's going on. I'm never going to feed you no bullshit. Not on this channel. You're going to get straight, no chaser, because that's what I do. This is Deb Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll see you guys this weekend, all right? Take care. Go out and make me proud. Bye-bye.